I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day to get on my grind. Got me singing, whoa, whoa. Effort, tampil kurban ready. Whoa, whoa. Effort, tampil kurban ready. I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day to get on my grind. Got me singing, whoa, whoa. Effort, tampil kurban ready. Whoa, whoa. Effort, tampil kurban ready.
Good evening and welcome to Between the Lines, presented to you by Live Wire Sports. Tonight on our show, we have two guests. Our first guest is going to be Miss Melissa Shang Simmonds. Melissa, how you doing tonight?
I'm great, thanks. And yourself?
I'm great. Are you ready for this show?
Definitely.
All right, that's a good thing. Our second guest is going to be Mr. Isaac Raphael. He's going to be joining us shortly. But for right now, we're going to start out with you, Melissa. You ready?
Sure.
All right. Actually, I think Isaac might be ready to go right now. Isaac, how you doing today?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Oh,
I'm in the middle of the game, but I'm here. I'm good.
it's nice to see. You're actually in a gym right now. Look like you're watching a live sports game. Is this true?
Yep. You see
All
that?
right, that's very interesting because we know right now in the Virgin Islands we haven't been playing sports since the beginning of the COVID pandemic. So that's about March. So it's interesting to see actual live sports happening at the high school setting.
Well, it's tough because, especially for my seniors, I have three of them going to Division One schools, so they need to continue playing. And we're all wearing masks. All the fans are wearing masks, and we're trying to make this as safe as possible for the kids. But they need to play.
All right, we're definitely gonna get more back into that. But we're gonna start the show again to know you guys. So, are either you from the States or you both from the Virgin Islands?
Right here from St. Croix.
I was born and raised in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
All right, I love to see it. Now, did you guys play any sports growing up? Let's start with you, Melissa.
Yes, actually, I played 3 sports. I played volleyball was my first sport. I also played softball and basketball.
All right, no, that's an athlete that's well rounded, that's playing 3 sports. So that's definitely something we love to see. When the athletes can excel in more than one sport, that gives them a better opportunity to receive those college scholarships.
Definitely.
Now, Isaac, did you play any sports growing up? Your mic is actually muted.
I didn't need it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Did you play any sports when you were growing up?
I played soccer, basketball, and volleyball.
Soccer, basketball, and volleyball. No, again, to see an athlete play 3 sports and excel is spectacular. It's hard enough to be good in one sport. So to be good in 3 different sports, that's something that sometimes unseen. But it's great to see athletes excel in all 3 sports and give themselves a better opportunity, like I said, to get college scholarships or to be seen by even professional teams, because soccer teams go for professional athletes from the age of 14 in Europe. So that's definitely a big thing. Now, did any of you guys play your junior high and high school ball in the Virgin Islands?
Yes.
Now, where did you play, Melissa?
I played here. I went to Central High School. Really?
So what schools?
My junior high years was Elena Christian Junior High School, and then I went on to Central High School, and I went off to college at North Carolina A&T State University, and a full volleyball scholarship.
All right, so you are my favorite person that has ever been on the show. You just won I am also a graduate of North Carolina A&T State University, so that I definitely can show between me and you
Yeah.
on this show here tonight. Now, what about you, Isaac? Did you what schools did you play at in the Virgin Islands when you were growing up?
I started at Good Hope, and then I went to Central where I started playing volleyball as well. And my last 2 years I was at St. Dunstan's Episcopal School.
I know. Did you get to move on to the next level and play any sport at the collegiate level, Isaac?
No, when I went to college, I pretty much started coaching at that time. So I was the manager at University of South Florida, and that kind of began my coaching career.
All right. Now back to you, Melissa. As a collegiate athlete, what was the experience like for you playing?
It was like the best time of my life. I had some great accomplishments, and knowing that we just came from such a small island, and to know it can be done. I'm a fan of hard work pays off,
Right.
and right now I coach like how I played back in my time. So for the kids that are watching, they think I'm tough, but I did it just because I know what it's like to go to college, and what the things that you experience at college. So it's just to prepare them because I had that experience firsthand.
Now, how did you go about receiving a scholarship to North Carolina A&T?
Well, when I played for Central, I was one of the top players, the top setters. I think I accomplished that by also being on a national team at a very young age. I started a national team in 1994 on a youth team, and then by 96, I was on a senior female team. So I had a little bit of experience, but my work ethics, I always believed in just putting out my all, and I practice as if I would be playing a game. When I went to college, we had like 4 practices a day. For some, it's a burden, but I loved it. And again, when you love something and you have the passion for it, it's not always work. It becomes a lot easier.
Definitely, definitely. Now, Isaac, with you becoming a manager of a team, how did you get that opportunity when you headed to college? The mic is muted.
From the
Well,
college,
go ahead.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. A little bit louder.
Okay. So when I did college, I played club volleyball. I didn't play for the school, but I was very involved with the women's program. And so the coach brought me into playing um, with the girls. And so from there, just in being in practice, she just kept me on as a manager. And, that kind of got me into the coaching in college.
All right, so was that something that you saw yourself doing at a young age? Did you always think that you could be a coach of a sports team?
Well, once I got that experience, I realized I could be a coach of a sports team. So, once I got that opportunity, I realized there was a lot that I could do.
Right, right, right. Now, with you, Melissa, at what point did you realize that being involved in sports doesn't mean that you have to play? Like coaching is a thing as well.
Um, wow, I started coaching probably like 17 years ago. So, but I coached and played, but it's when after you gain what you gain, as far as education and everything, my thing was to always give back because I got it from a lot of my coaches, which Isaac himself right now on the show with us, he was my first volleyball coach. So I always had it in me to give back, but I started coaching like 17 years ago. I started for the national team at like in 2015, and then I coached on a senior team about 3 years ago because I got injured. So I played up until then.
Dynamic to have on this show. We have 2 coaches and one who actually coached the other one. Now, Isaac, can you describe Melissa as a player when you coached her?
Melissa was amazing as a player because she worked extremely hard. And I was able to push her as much as I wanted to, and she was able to respond. So I really enjoyed coaching her. She was my first setter, and from that team that she played on, I think almost every player went on to play in college. So that was back home in 1992 now.
Yes,
Yeah, right now I'm speaking.
1992.
And I think every player on that team went on to play in college.
Wow. That's now that says something about the program that you were built or the teaching that you got to your athletes. Now, by no means does the coach determine the altitude of the athlete, but I think they do definitely have a hand in making the athlete a better person and a better player.
I
I
definitely
agree.
agree with that.
Now, Isaac, how long have you been coaching? If you actually coaching Melissa, who's been coaching for 17 years.
If you start back in 1986, is what about when I started coaching.
Ooh.
Yep.
So it's been a little while.
So now, and the interesting part about it is now you're still coaching, and the interesting part about this is now that you're coaching your daughter in high school. How is that dynamic with coaching your own child in sport? Can you hear me, Isaac?
Oh, say it again.
Oh, I said, with you coaching now, you're actually coaching your daughter. What is the dynamic like to be coaching your own child in athletics?
You know, we have a special relationship. Um, she allows me to push her, and we have fun. I am coach when I'm on the bench. She also calls me coach. Once we get out of the gym, daddy. So right now I'm her coach, and I push her. Um, you know, and we have a good relationship. It's going very well. I've
Now,
learned the balance of both.
now, Melissa, have you had a chance to coach one of your children as well?
Yes, sir.
What is that dynamic like?
It's funny. Some great moments. To see your daughter following in your footsteps. I'm really hard on her, so but she knows what I expect of her.
And listen, it's not easy being the kid of the coach. Trust me. Between the other players on the team and having to hear about the game when you're on the way home. Because my father was my coach in two different sports, and it's like you never stop hearing about what happened in practice or what happened in the game. So being a child of a coach is great, but it has the moments where it's like, ah man, now I have to talk about this all night, all day. But it's definitely a
No,
great.
no, no, no. When the game over for me, it's over. Unless my daughter unless she brings it up. It's funny though, cause her teammates ask her a lot, like how can she deal with being
Yeah.
the coach that I am. But she knows at the end of it, it's just about the game. They love of the sport. I would admit I'm a very hard coach, but I was a really tough player, so I coach how I play.
No, trust me, I understand that because at the end of the day, the 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 game itself stays on the field. But as a parent and as a child, you guys just want to figure out how you can work together and make this thing good, both on the field and off the field. So it's definitely an
Exactly.
understanding.
Yes.
All right, no. So what age groups do you guys coach? Starting with you, Melissa.
Man, I coach like from the little toddlers, you could say, like from 4 or 5 years old, 5 year olds up until seniors. Cause I have a younger daughter. She's 8. I started her off really young. She started about 3 or 4 years old. So we do it from that age right up to the seniors.
You know that's the most interesting time to watch kids play sports.
It's
It's
so cute. It's beautiful.
They
It is
sometimes they feel
beautiful.
tough young, but you can't help but laugh and smile at the things they do because they're trying the hardest now. Trust me, but
Yes,
it's so amazing that they can't get done sometimes. But those are the ones that start early and they get that repetition over and over. You just are amazed at how great they become because you were there when they were tripping over their own two shoelaces.
that's right.
Now, Isaac, what age groups do you coach besides high school?
I coach all age groups. I've coached in college. I've coached Adults. I'm gonna take a timeout. I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. Take it. All right, Melissa. We'll get back to Isaac when he returns. This is an important game for him. His team is actually ranked, I think he said, in the top 3 in the state of Florida. So this is a big
I
thing
think
for
I
him.
think they're number 1. Yeah.
Amazing. It
Yes.
has about at least 15 to 30 schools in a county. So you can imagine being the top 10 in the state. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and I was telling him too. I'm definitely proud of him. Being that he was my first coach, and now to see, what he has going in the states.
Mhm.
So I'm really proud and really proud to be coaching with him as well on the national level.
Listen, I'm proud of him. This is my first day meeting him, but I'm proud of him too. Honestly, I just
Yeah.
like to see Bordinalders succeeding in the things they love. So I don't have to know him from anywhere, but I'm proud that he's making the impact that he is, really and truly.
Yes, he's great.
All right. Do you have any other titles besides coach, Melissa?
Can you repeat that?
Do you have any other titles besides coach?
I'm a firefighter, EMT.
No. How do you
Yeah.
balance that? Being a coach
Hey,
and being a firefighter.
again, when you love what you do and you do what you love, is so much easier.
Mhm.
I'm a mother of 2. I'm a wife, so and I work 3 jobs and still doing the coaching thing. So I'm out for the kids,
Passion always prevails. Trust me, always.
definitely.
All right, Isaac, you're back from your timeout.
I'm back.
All right. Do you have any other titles besides coach?
Um, I have 5 kids of my own. Um, I'm married, but I have my I teach. I teach math. I teach geometry in high school. I finished my undergraduate at UCF as a math major, and I have my MBA at Florida International University. Did you hear me?
Yeah, got you.
Okay.
So with that, when it comes to volleyball, are you a part of the volleyball federation?
I am a part of the Volleyball Federation. Um, I coach. I'm in charge of coaching the national team, for the youth, the junior, and the senior national team, for the men and for the women. I also coach here for club volleyball, and I coach for high performance in Florida as well.
All right,
So
so
I have a lot of different, I have a lot of different hats.
let's jump into some talk about the national team. I heard the national team mentioned by both you and Melissa. Were you a player on the national team, Isaac, or just a coach?
I played for the boys when we were younger. I remember going to Barbados and playing, which was an awesome experience. Um, I've been to I've traveled a lot with the team, and again as a coach, I really enjoy what we're doing. I really want to see the program grow, and I'm really enjoying working with the kids. I think it's just huge for the Virgin Islands and huge for the kids' future.
And that's great. We hope you keep it up as long as possible. Never give up on the children or the Virgin Islands. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing great.
Thank you.
Melissa, have you ever played for the national team or coach?
Yes, I played for the national team, for the women's national team, from 1996 up until about 2017, I think.
No,
I started as the youngest and ended up the eldest.
no. I want you to know that's 20 years of playing
Yeah,
national team Olympic sports. Like that's you might be one of the greatest Olympic athletes we have of our time. Like I have to do some research into this. Trust me, that's amazing to hear somebody playing sports for 20 years in that level of competition. So we definitely going to look into that. Do you have any accolades for the national team that you would like to mention or that we can know? Any records? Any amount of wins?
yeah, we won the world championship in oh man about 2015 or 16, I think. I played so many games. My head bad. I can't remember all them years and things. So forgive me for that.
Oh no,
Um,
we gonna
and
have to
then
remember.
we also won some silver medals. Um, we always place like second to third. A lot of times we fell short due to injuries and different things, or players having to leave, before the big game. So, but yeah, and throughout those championship games, under Norseka, Kasova, and the World Championships, I won numerous best setter awards, which it meant a lot, but it meant even more with my teammates, because I played with ladies like Janelle Saro, Elisa Sanchez, Danelle Williams, um Valencia Brathwaite, Danielle from Totola, the twins, Kavisha. I mean, it is a mix because, like I said, I started young, and ended up the eldest. Some of the older folks are like Alphinis Williams, Joyce Baptiste, played with Vanya Blake. I mean, some really good athletes.
Now, did you ever run into a situation where you end up playing on the national team with girls that you coached or women that you coached?
Actually, I played my assistant coach for college
Hmm.
was Georgette Crawford, and I played against her in the nationals.
Wow.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
Oh, it was great. It was great because, I mean, you're my coach, and then we bring it to the table to settle differences. So the competition was always great, and she was from Jamaica.
So who had bragging rights in that situation? Who won that match?
They had the edge. They had the edge. That they had the edge. That go wrong.
Mhm. All right, Isaac, do you have any accolades that you want to tell us about from all your years of coaching volleyball?
I've been coach of the year in Florida a couple times. Um, high school coach of the year. I've had a few of them. So, but for me, it's more about the players. So I really like to focus on them. I have players who've gone on to play Division One and been All Americans. So everything for me is just focusing on the players.
Now, you said coach of the year, and I'm glad that you brought the focus back to the players, but I ain't gonna let you get away without celebrating that accomplishment. You didn't win coach of the year one time, you won multiple times. That's a big thing, and definitely congratulations to you from Live Sport. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Now, can you tell us what was your greatest moment as a coach, Isaac?
Oh boy. Um, I really enjoyed when I first started coaching Mel's team, Bullets, when they were 12 years old. I enjoyed coaching, the same coach that Mel spoke about, Georgette. I coached her in Jamaica, and I coached her in the Bahamas, and we won gold in both tournaments, so that was a good experience. And then we just won game two, and then just coaching for high performance and winning gold here in Florida. So I've had some really good experiences coaching.
All right. What about you, Melissa? What was your greatest moment as a coach? Your mic is actually muted.
You can hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. When I started coaching in complex, I started coaching boys. I prefer to coach boys at the time. Again, being the coach that I was, and boys, they were tougher, and I coached guys like James Sneed, Timothy Sneed, Mark Franklin, Hector Belado, that group of guys, Glenroy Lopez. Um, Out of the 12 that I had at that time, about 6 or 7 of them became national team players. So that was awesome for me to see them move on to the next level and to represent our island, you know.
No,
Um,
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, yeah, and then coaching my daughter when she was at Elena Christian. I entered them in the St. Croix Educational Complex Junior volleyball tournament that Miss Miranda hosted. And being that they were just the younger set, they were really young at the time, and I entered them in the tournament and they ended up playing in the championship game. That was just an outstanding feeling, you know.
No, I
And just
continue.
one more I have to share, man, that it was with Coach Isaac again. That was just last year in Martinique. Our girls, they almost won against Trinidad. That would have been a first, you know, and they fell short due to some officiating calls and stuff. But I couldn't be more proud of that group of girls.
No, I feel like I heard you say it, but I just want to make sure. So, just for confirmation, did you go to Central and coach at Complex?
Yes, I went to Central High School, and then actually I was a teacher at Complex from like 2003 to 2007 when I changed my career to firefighting.
Mhm.
But Viale was a principal at the time, and he was he loved how I coach and everything and how I dealt with the kids. So he allowed me to stay coaching the boys. And I had that group of boys, like I told you, for the 4 years. So I think their last 2 years they went undefeated, and the last year, their senior year, they went undefeated, like territorial wide.
Now, were you coaching high school volleyball? Were you able to get any students onto the next level through scholarships?
Um yeah, we did when I coached with Miss Danelle Williams at Complex, we had a nice program going in which we would call practices every Saturday, and the kids would have to come in like an hour before, and they did like study hall or tutorial, and we would assist them with their schoolwork, and explain to them the process into getting into college, because I think a lot of the athletes are not aware of the steps that you have to take to go to college.
Hmm.
And I like to stress that to them, because it has to be education first, because your GPA has to be a certain grade point average in order to be accepted first of all, and you have to maintain it.
Hmm.
So we spoke to them a lot about clearing house and NCAA and all of that, and the importance of the attitude, discipline to do videos and stuff, so that they could be seen not only at their senior year, but at an earlier time.
So, the big thing is just the knowledge of the situation. I feel like in the versions, I feel like we push them to be great on the field, but we don't explain to them the things they just talked about at the clearinghouse and their GPA. So I think that's something that we need to do more often. Like have a setting where they can learn about all these stuff along with being great at the sport.
Definitely.
All right, Isaac Guerreros, is you still with us?
Still here.
All right. So, can you tell us anybody that you have gotten to the next level, or do you have a certain amount of players that you have helped to play at the collegiate level?
Um, it's a lot of players now. Um, Starting from, like I said, with Mel and her team. But every year, in the program that we have here, we send at least 20 or 30 girls to play in the college. So that's what the whole program is about. Getting players to play at the next level. I've coached Division One ball for 7 years, so I've also been able to help players from back home and different islands in the Caribbean come up here and get a chance to play as well. So I coach at FIU and McLean Cookman University and University of Central Florida. So I've had a great opportunity to help girls play at the next level. and that's the goal. Mel talked about the grades. If they're student athletes, and they have to remember that being a student is the number one thing. And so our goal is to help them develop as young women. I look at Mel, I'm so proud of her and all that she has accomplished. And for me, that's what really matters. After all the dust has settled and all that, it's really about seeing them go from being young girls to being successful young women.
And that's what it's about. Thank you for that, coach. All right, live wire fans, we're going to actually take a commercial break right now. We'll be back with more Between the Lines after a short break. So I was saying, Sheikh Kalaman. All right, welcome back to Between the Lines, presented to you by Live Wire Sports. We have Melissa still here with us. Isaac has left because of technical difficulties, but he should be back shortly. But let's get into it with you, Melissa. Now, when is volleyball season in the Virgin Islands?
Well, on St. Croix we do it like we start like January, February, and depending on when we start, it runs until like March to June, depending on when it starts.
Now, what is the
That's
youngest
for the
age?
outside league.
Oh, we have outside and inside league.
Well, you have the interscholastic league.
Okay, there we go. The
Right.
school league. Okay. So
Yeah.
now, what age do kids start to play volleyball in a league setting or a clinic setting?
Well, the clubs that I have coached for, I've coached for two clubs, High Performance Volleyball Club. That was by Elisa Sanchez and Tisha Nieves and Leah Shepherd, Danelle Williams, Shayna Sherrington. That was like the group. We did that for a few years. The age groups were like from 5-6 years old up until high school age. And then I also coach with the Jesters Volleyball Club. The president for that one is Miss Lucille Hapson, who is also the president for the Virgin Islands Volleyball Federation. And that club has continued to grow. That's whom I'm with currently. And it's the same thing. We started kids off like from 4 or 5 years old. What we do is we lower the net to like tennis height. And we put 4 of them on the court. And we have a game with 8. So and they love it because we get them like the best looking uniforms and just hype them up, you know.
That's it right there. They just need somebody like to push them, somebody to believe in them, somebody that wants to help them have fun. That's what it's about for them at that
Definitely.
age. And I think once you get them to have fun and they see that they can be a little good at it, that's where you get that motivation to continue playing and gain better and eventually gain those college scholarships.
Definitely, definitely.
Now, is there any women league in volleyball over in St. Croix?
Well, everything was put to a halt for us, like from since the hurricane, because then after that, all the damages and getting into the gyms and stuff. But last year when we traveled, we were able to utilize Central High Gym, because we traveled to Martinique with the national teams, male and female for juniors.
Mhm.
So we were able to get some time in with those kids. But as far as league, just as we were ready to kick it off with all age group, it was the hurricane. Then we striked up again, and then this COVID thing. So, but we're just trying to see how we could start to do little things, even if we do have them coming in by threes.
Mhm.
And to get them ready because next year we have actually 2 or 3 tournaments to prepare for.
Wow, that's. I
Yes,
hope that they get things solved so that sports can be played here because there's a lot going on for these kids that they are losing out on. And you saying that
yes,
they have upcoming tournaments, I just want to see them get to play, especially when those tournaments come around.
definitely. And right now for me, it hurts me to see what these seniors are going through, because that's your last year and you want to go out with a bang. And my daughter happened to be in that group, but we can find a way to help them out and push forward. It's just to get in a gym and because we're at a stay at home thing right now.
Mhm.
But man, it's really a tough time.
Definitely, definitely. Everybody feeling it from the senior citizens all the way down to the infants. So it's definitely a rough time altogether.
I think it's even harder for the youths because I've always thought that sports is an excellent way of keeping them out of trouble. As for me, especially
Definitely,
for the guys,
definitely.
you know, is a venue where is pure positive vibes. Especially when the teams are traveling, they get that exposure. They meet people. They share that bond with the teammates. So it's really a tough time. So we have to find a way to get by it and get these kids going so they could be ready for college.
No,
Because
would you?
I was talking with Coach Isaac early and it's harder because the college coaches can't travel as well. And then the kids can't be seen and our kids aren't playing here, obviously.
Mhm.
So right now Isaac and his set, they're better off because they could get some games in.
Yeah, I wanted to actually come back on the live stream so we could actually get some footage of this volleyball game that's going on because like it's foreign to us here to see sports being played live somewhere that's not the NFL and not the NBA, but to see high school sports happening is something that we don't see here. So it's amazing to see at the moment. So if he comes back, we'll probably get a little bit of volleyball footage of him coaching and stuff like that.
Yeah, and actually his daughter is playing right now. That's who he's coaching. So
Yeah, so he on double duty, he on daddy duty and coach duty, he on life duty. He does doing a lot. All right, you spoke about travel teams. What are some of the benefits of having travel teams, not only for volleyball but for all sports?
um, I think the most important key would be the exposure, especially for our kids coming from just a for St. Croix 84 square mile island. Um, and here they're trained one way and when they go abroad like we've taken our kids to the AAU tournaments in Orlando and when we go to register is like 2,000 plus teams you
Wow.
know yes, and it's every age bracket. Yeah, I mean you name it from the youngest to the 18-year-olds getting ready to go after college. So when these kids see this, they're like super excited, and it opens their minds and let them know it encourages them, that they too could be a part of what's going on in the outer world.
Now, do you have a lot of travel ball teams over there in St. Croix for volleyball?
Say again.
Do you have a lot of travel ball teams over in St. Croix for volleyball?
Yeah, we had a number of teams traveling for our club. Actually, we was to travel this year with some, and because of COVID, we couldn't. We're going up where Coach Isaac is. We normally meet up with him there, but everything got pushed back. Last year we had some of the younger ones that traveled with Miss Helena James and Shireen Newton for our club. But we couldn't travel at that time because we had a lot of tournaments going on for the national team too, and you have the same set of athletes that playing.
Now, while we're here talking about this travel ball teams, I just want to urge everybody who's watching this live stream. When I see the kids out there selling water, please give them a donation. Selling water, they're selling candy, whatever it is, give them a donation. They're doing something to accomplish a dream. One of the ones I'm very familiar with is Junior Stars is one. I can't even think about the other names of some of the travel teams that in my mind right now. My mind is running all over the place. But donate something to them. $1, $2, whatever you have, donate something to them. They're trying to accomplish a dream. They're doing something positive. They could be doing
Definitely.
worse things in the streets right now, but no, they're out there raising money to take trips, to compete in sports, and ultimately to market themselves to coaches in the state. So if you see those young ladies and young men on the side of the road selling water or whatever they're selling, just donate to them if you have it. If you do have it, if you don't have it, then it's understandable. But if you have it, just donate to them. Help them to accomplish something positive in their life. Because you never know how far that one experience of going on that trip could take them, honestly.
Definitely, I agree with you.
Now, what do you think is the next big step for the VI in volleyball?
Well, we're trying to build a program with Coach Isaac. He'll be the head of it, and to develop the kids. Our thing is like he mentioned earlier is just to get them ready after college, and then we're trying to put the VI on the map to keep us up there for the national level. We have some extremely outstanding athletes that are upcoming. Um, so we just trying to get like from the youth to go right up ready, so they could
No,
go after the next level, and so that they could represent their island and come out on top, because we have it.
we definitely have it. Now,
Yes.
of all the sports that we play here in the Virgin Islands, where do you think volleyball ranks among the sports that we play?
I gonna be biased for that. Volleyball gonna be number one for me. I know there's soccer and basketball is a big thing here, but I mean volleyball is up there. Is up there. It's I think it's becoming even more popular now because when I coach, a lot of guys were like they don't want to play because that's a girlified sport until they get in it, and then when they start chopping people and things like they like to say, then it becomes manly. Yeah, so it's growing, and I would like to shout out and thank Miss Hobson, Miss Miranda, because I mean these ladies, like, man, the ancient of volleyball in terms of age and years, and they don't have no kids involved like presently, and they continue to do and make things happen for the sport. Because we also have Miss Hobson again in charge of like beach volleyball and stuff, and that's a big thing, you know. The kids get to go like everywhere in the world, everywhere. So it's just awesome.
What do you think the Volleyball Federation and volleyball coaches together can do to propel volleyball into being the number one sport here in the Virgin Islands?
I think once this COVID thing die down, once we host we could host a number of tournaments. We were even thinking to host AAU tournaments, and we were talking about that with Coach Isaac. And I just think that would be great because when those kids from Florida or all those other states start to come down here and they get to see the paradise and the beaches and all this stuff, um, I think it would be great and the community would come out more and stuff.
No, for the life of me, I can't understand why we don't use stuff like that to bring people here. Like everybody wants to go to the Virgin Islands. Like every sports team
Exactly.
would come here if they have the opportunity. Um, you get to play the sport that you love, and you get to go on a trip at the same time. The same way we going up there to go on trips and playing sports too. We could bring them here. We could hold some quality tournaments here. It doesn't have to only be around All-Star time or around the Olympics or around the national team. We could do this year round. Like people love to come here. People want a reason to come to the Virgin Islands. And if you come in to play sports,
True.
you come to play sports and then you get to do all the other stuff after. So it's definitely a trip that I think a lot of teams will take if they are offered the opportunity to come here.
And actually this year as well, we were to host a world championship where Cuba and stuff was supposed to come down, but again COVID. So
COVID just messed up everything for
it
everyone.
did, man. It's a blow. It's really a life changer.
Mhm. Now, we actually completed our interview section. We're actually going to move on to our interactive segment. So Isaac leave you hanging and he get away from it. But this one ain't too bad. But I'm gonna give my opinion on a few of your favorite things, all right? So I'm gonna ask you a few things and you're gonna tell us your opinion on it, and then I can just decide if that's a good answer or not, basically. All right, so the first thing we want to know, what's your favorite color?
Brown.
I, I never had nobody say that in my life.
Yep, champagne. I'm a champagne brownish type of lady. Yep.
I have never heard anybody say that brown is their favorite color in my life. I
Yep.
heard black, I heard white, I heard red, blue, magenta, never brown.
Brown.
Your favorite athlete?
LeBron James.
No, see, this that's great. Because LeBron is, I don't know how he is on the court because I'm a LeBron fan. But when it comes to off the court, LeBron James is one of the greatest people in the world. Definitely. Like I
Hey, in
said,
his photo, in his photo.
hey, I ain't a LeBron fan, but yeah,
No,
he is
you don't
good.
have to be a fan. But hate comes with greatness. So what I mean,
You're right
is
there.
yeah, because I mean it's like back in Kobe time too. I didn't care for Kobe at the beginning of his career, but man, the guy is a hell of an athlete. You can't take away that from them.
No, when you put it like that, you're completely right. Honestly, you're right.
Yeah.
Your favorite musical artist?
Ah, yeah. I go with Bob Marley.
You can't lose with Bob Marley. No matter what, you
Definitely
can't lose
not.
with Bob Marley. Nobody can
Definitely not.
question your thoughts. Your favorite hobby besides sports?
Spending time with my family and loved ones.
All right. Family time. That's a good one. As a family man myself, so I definitely can understand how important family is to you. So I love that answer.
It mean more to me, because the way my schedule is with work and everything, like is limited, so I have to make the best of everything.
Definitely, definitely. Your favorite sports team?
Right now, since LeBron and Lakers.
So when LeBron retire, what are you gonna do?
And then I go back neutral until
Uh,
until another athlete like that come around.
hey, I don't know when we're gonna see another LeBron James type athlete again. So you might have
Yeah,
to wait a
man, the guy
little.
is phenomenal. And again, the youngsters that are watching, I hope they see that it's not just about him coming out and performing. I know his work ethics, his dedication, his discipline, his motivation. So the youngsters that are playing sports, they need to definitely keep that in mind. You have to have the right attitude.
Definitely, definitely. Your favorite academic subject in school?
Mathematics.
Great answer. But I just feel like To like math, you have to like math at a young age because if you try to like math in high school after you never liked it before, you can never catch up. So you have to be somebody who loved math from elementary school, or you like to count on your fingers or something. Because once you
Definitely, can you have your kids asking you why math have letters and stuff in it? Yeah,
after a while, math they get really complicated.
yeah.
Favorite food,
Rice and beans and fried chicken, rice and beans and pork chops, rice and beans and anything else and mama.
rice and beans. All right, then. So I feel like you're gonna name everything that you could put with rice and beans just now.
Yeah.
Favorite sport movie.
Um, I love and basketball.
I keep hearing this love on basketball thing, and I thought when I was younger that love on basketball was the greatest thing ever. Until I watched it over and I say, hey, really that great.
No,
Eh,
I like it.
it's good, but it ain't the greatest thing ever. I'll take it though. Your favorite sports moment.
Wow. Um.
With the season that is so condensed that we have.
Oh man, that's a few. My some high school moments. Winning championships. We had some teams come from Puerto Rico and competing against them, and you know, seeing a higher level of caliber of the sport. Um, in college, definitely that was one of my highlights. And playing for the national team, there were a few. Winning a world championship right here in St. Croix, in front of our own fans, in front of my daughter. I had my firstborn then, so that was definitely a moment that I would never forget. Because she was able to see me play firsthand at a real high level. So yeah,
All right, so I'll take the answer. You actually survived our interactive segment, but now we're about to put some pressure on Isaac now because he can't just pop back in here and just think that everything is gonna be fine. Isaac,
Actually, hang
the
on a
game's still going
second.
on or finished?
We just finished. We won in three. We
Oh,
won
great,
in three. It
great,
just
great.
finished. So the girls want to give a shout out to the VI. Are you guys ready? All right. Well, there
Oh,
you go. You see them?
that is great. Thank you for that. I hope
You're
somebody
welcome.
recorded.
You're
You know what? We
welcome.
have that recorded and live stream. We can definitely get that replayed and post it on Facebook. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
nice, nice.
Isaac, we let you escape. You have to participate in our interactive segment too. Melissa
That's
just
no
went.
problem.
She gave some interesting answers, very interesting answers. So let's see what your answers look like too. So I'm
Okay.
gonna mention a few of your favorite things, and I just want to give you to give me an answer so I can see where your train of thought is with this.
Okay.
Your favorite color?
Blue.
I kind of figured that already. The math figured it out.
Well,
Favorite athlete?
Michael Jordan.
I can't argue with that. Michael Jordan is the GOAT, definitely for sure. But
Yep.
Melissa said LeBron James, so she that's a good answer there. So I don't know who to side with on that one. Your
You
favorite
can't
music?
side with nobody. That's a different era.
That's true.
For, well,
Favorite
for the
musical artist?
for the females, it's Serena Williams.
You know what? I think Serena might trump both, to be honest. Really and
Yeah,
truly.
I agree with that.
Serena,
Yep.
I don't think there's been anybody as dominant in their sport as Serena Williams. So yeah, Serena, I go with Serena Williams. She's probably the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Disregarding the gender, like male or female, she is
Yeah.
definitely at least top two.
Hmm.
Your favorite musical artist, Isaac?
Yeah. Sade.
Okay, classic, very classic. I like that. Your favorite hobby besides sport?
Swimming. Any water sport.
Yeah, he's an island man. That's all it
Yep.
is. Island man,
Yep.
love the beach. It makes sense.
Yep.
Your favorite sports team?
My favorite sports team. Um, in college, at the UCF. Um, professionally, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite professionally. Um,
It's a
I
special
guess
situation.
the Bulls back in the day, but right now I don't really have any.
Yeah, let's not cheer for the Bulls right now. I'm a Bulls fan, and it's not a happy ending. Like I turn on the TV, I just know the Bulls may lose, and just have to just deal with it every day.
Mhm.
Your favorite academic subject in school?
Math.
Math, okay. Both you and Melissa chose math, and I was explaining to her like you have to love math from the beginning because if you wait too late, x plus 6 equals 47. 9 plus b minus x equals something else. So it don't make sense after a while. Your favorite food?
Mango.
Mango. All right. That's a cheat. Very much a
That's a
cheat.
e- that's an easy one for me.
Definitely. Favorite sports movie?
Remember the Titans?
You know, I take it Remember the Titans over Love and Basketball. I'm a football player. Remember the Titans was great.
Yeah.
The meaning behind the story, the actual events behind the story was great. And then they
Hmm.
have Denzel Washington. Like,
Yeah.
remember the Titans? It was great.
Yeah. That was a great movie.
Favorite sports moment?
Favorite sports moment. Michael Jordan winning his sixth ring.
That means you had to be one of the people that watch The Last Dance more than once.
I remember from the original win
You're
when it
right.
happened live.
I couldn't watch it live. I was a little bit. I mean, I could have watched it. I was a little bit too young to understand. So me watching it over now, it definitely give me the magnitude of how great that run was for the Chicago Bulls.
Yep.
All right, so you both survived our interactive segment, which is great. You didn't do too bad. We had some answers that were way out, but we had some answers that were right down the middle. So you guys did very well. Right?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're actually going to open our live stream to questions that the viewers would like to ask you guys. I'll read
Okay.
those questions to you guys, and either of you guys can
You want me
answer
to
or
start?
you can both answer. All right.
Okay.
So the first question was, how was your experience coaching AAU? So I'm thinking that's for you, Isaac.
Coaching where?
AAU.
Hey, you.
I love coaching AAUs because for me it's a great experience for the kids. You see people from all over the U.S. and all over the world. Actually, a lot of different countries come together to play in that tournament. So I really enjoy doing that. I've had some very good experiences. I've had teams that have won. I've had teams that have done very well in AAU nationals. So it's been a great experience. Last year my girls finished third. So it's been a great experience for us. It's been a just a fun trip for us. I really enjoy it.
Yep.
What about you, Melissa? Did you get to coach AAU or not as yet? Because
Yes,
it's
I
not.
coach I coach in the AU as well. Um so the first time well we knew the kids that it would just be like a nerve-wracking experience for them because of the amount of games and
Got it.
people and
Thank you, sir.
teams. But as we took the kids more and more, they actually started winning a good number of games. So it was a great experience just to have the kids see that they gain that exposure. I love that part for them.
All right, the next question from the viewers would be, when is the national team trial for men?
Um,
You have those dates now?
we don't have any dates right now because this COVID shut down thing. So as soon as that's clearing up, but like I said, if we can get a whole lot of gyms, then we'll start to bring in the players, in groups, just little bit, not exceeding the number, of course, because I mean we have to keep in mind here the hospitals that we have, and so yeah.
What is the
All right, Mike.
process
Thank you.
for a player to be selected for the volleyball national team? Are there any requirements?
Well, of course, to be a good volleyball player, but we want to continue to train and develop. Um, I want to start getting their academics involved as well for the national team because again, it's about getting them to play at the next level and then coming back and giving back to the U.S. Virgin Islands. So I really
Yep.
want them to continue, working hard. But it's just watching them develop. Especially with the younger ones, it is really, as long as you want to work hard, we will train you. Mel has a lot of experience. I have experience. We'll train you and we'll get you there. So it's just about them, being willing to work hard and train, and we'll take them where they need to go.
Anything to add, Melissa?
Come here, Sky.
Yeah, but for me, to add on to what Coach Isaac said, is the right attitude. Hey, believe it or not, we've had kids that got cut for their attitude. Because I mean, if you act up here, I'm not taking it, and we're representing our island away. So attitude for me and discipline is definitely a huge factor. You have to be coachable. You have to have the right
Let me sit
work
there real quick.
ethics. So because when we wear this uniform, man, like I was telling Coach Isaac, if you don't feel shivers or something rippling through your body, then you ain't in it for the right reasons. Because to get selected for the national team, man, for me that means so much. Because you're representing your country and it's at the highest level. So
Love it, love it, love it. And the last question, somebody would like to know what state is Isaac in?
I am in Orlando, Florida right now.
All right, so we have Orlando, Florida. All right, that is all the questions from the viewers. I just want you guys to give a shout out to any team that you're currently coaching, any organization that you're a part of, anything that you were a part of growing up.
Thank you.
If you want a shout out, tell them that you're thankful for anything that they've done for you. So you can go, anybody can go ahead and go first.
Go ahead, Mel.
we're going to tell you go ahead. But okay, since Isaac is on, I'd like to thank him first of all because he was my first coach. Also Miss Lucille Hobson. Man, my list long, Desiree Miranda. Um, Valrika Bryson, she coached me when I was in Elena Christian Junior High School. I can't forget my uncle Kaishang. He coached me in Central High when I played in my high school years. Um, I played for Nemi Jackson, for Elridge Blake. I played for a number of people,
I
so
lost them.
I like to thank all of them because they made me who I am today.
All right, Isaac, we ain't forget about you.
All
So I hope you take all
right.
that time that you used just now to come up with some good shout outs.
I'm walking to my car right now, so you can't see me, but I really have to just thank everyone in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I want to give a shout out to everyone. My very first coach was Mandy Janos at Central High School. That was back in 1983, 84. Lucille Hobson has been a big part of my life. Peter Williams, Lenny Larson. Um, these are all people who've had a huge impact on myself as a player and, as a coach. Um, you know, I really have a lot to thank them for. Of course, my parents are
Yep,
back home. They would not be happy if I didn't give a shout out to them for giving me the opportunities to do all those things that I wanted to do in life. And my family, my wife, and my kids for putting up with me because in this coaching thing, there's a lot of
definitely.
traveling and there's a whole lot of time away from home. So I've been dealing with it for years. And to all my players that I've coached in the past, um, I thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to coach you and to help you become better players and to become, just incredible adults that every time I see them, it's always a wonderful surprise and to see how everyone has, been a success now. So I'm really proud of everyone and I'm really just happy for the opportunity to have been a part of their lives.
And I'm sure they definitely thank you for that as well. And I just want you guys to just give one last message to students that are wanting to further their education through sports or don't know how to make an impact back on the Virgin Islands through
All right,
sports as
Charlie.
far as when they go to the collegiate level. Just anything that could motivate them and make them want to keep pushing. Isaac, I can go with you first this time because you make Mel go last time, so you definitely gotta go first this time.
That's not a problem. You know, if kids want to see you tomorrow, if kids want to play in college, it's a lot of work, and it's really a decision that you're going to make because there's a lot of different levels. There's Division 1, there's Division 2, Division 3, NAIA. So the biggest thing is to make that decision that you want to play, and the earlier you make the decision, the better it's going to be for you. You guys drive safely. All right. But it's there needs to be some guidance as to getting through clearinghouse, getting through the NCAA, preparing early. We can do a lot as coaches, but the students have to do their part in the classroom, so that they can maintain the GPA that's needed in the different universities. I've had players go on to play at a very high level, and I've had some very good players who had to either go the junior college route or not be able to play their first year because their academics weren't where it needed to be, even though they were incredible players. So we need to make sure that we emphasize to these young people that they really have to keep their grades where it needs to be so that they can be successful out there. Because no matter what we do, at the end of the day, if they're not doing their responsibility off the court, it really doesn't matter what happens on the court. So they really have to focus on that and help us to help them. Again, we can help them on the court, but they have to do their part off the court.
All right. Any final thoughts, Melissa?
I agree with everything Coach said. It has to start with them. They have to want to be the one that wants to do it. If they know they're getting ready to go off to college now, yes, we're going through the pandemic, but don't let that be an excuse not to go on to what you truly want to do. Because then at the end of it, you'll just live with regrets. So I'll encourage them to just, even if they get a small group or if they start by themselves and work out on their own, they could do that at home. You have a lot of stuff on YouTube and the internet, you know. They just have to find a way to motivate themselves because it's something that they want to do. So I would encourage them to just do their part, like Coach said, maintain their GPA, and then when it comes to them needing videos or anything, then the coaches could find a way to get that through and send them off. But I'd hate to see that none of them move forward because of the pandemic. So ain't got to live with regrets. Just do what you want to do. Do what you have to. Is one life. Just do it the right way. And I mentioned that because there is one thing that I did regret, and that's why I was stressed to these kids. I was recruited, or I was being invited to play for the Carolinas national their championship team in Puerto Rico for the semi-pro league. And I didn't go. I had a good reason not to go. I just had my first daughter, so I opted not to go because I didn't want to leave her behind. But if things were different and I did, then hey, it's no regret. So just take advantage of every opportunity is what I would tell these kids. Stay focused and go after everything because it's out there for everybody. It's just for you to go and get it.
All right. Listen, we want to thank both of you guys for taking time out of your evening to come on to Between the Lines tonight. We got some valuable information. We learned a lot about you guys as well, and we are definitely proud of you guys from Live Wire Sports. Definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Once again, thank you guys for coming on, and we wish you the best on your future endeavors. All right, Live Wire fans, we will be back next week for another episode of Between the Lines presented to you by Live Wire Sports. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and we see you next week at 7 p.m.
I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day to get on my grind. Got me singing, whoa, whoa. Effort tampil kurban whoa, whoa. Effort tampil kurban